All right, and we are live. Hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. I thought I would sit down and do a live for you guys and gals. For those who are chiming in, yes, I am doing a Black Friday sale because I just did a poll. Someone brought it up to me of, hey, you've got some slots you do want to fill. You got some open slots. Why don't you do a Black Friday sale? It's Black Friday. And I'm like, I've never done one of those before. I've never done a Black Friday sale ever for my coaching after all these years. Uh, I have at least three slots I'd like to fill, right? I have at least three slots I'd like to fill this month. So I put up a poll and a bunch of people said, yeah, if I did at least 50 off, they would absolutely consider it. So that's what we're going to do. Based on that poll, I'm going to run three slots at $200 a month. In order to get that, though, the person has to put their application in and they have to put in the application fee. And I charge $25 for that, which you guys already know. You've got to reach out to me on Facebook. So, again, that's going to be the requirement. If they do not get the fee in by the end of the month, I'm not giving them the slot. So it's going to be the first three people who apply. I'm going to do them at 200, which I haven't run that rate in over 5 years, by the way. It's been over 5 years. I've been running 250 again lately, just due to supply and demand. But yeah, so since I've got three slots open that I'd love to fill, it's a great time to do the sale. So there they are. First come, first serve. But again, I want to be clear on that. Like, people have to be ready to get locked in if they want it at the 200. If you guys wait till next month, it's going to be 250, right? And that's just the way it's going to be. Okay, same thing. Existing clients don't jump over and go, "Can I get the Black Friday?" Well, if you buy a 1 year package, and I think that's fair. So that would be reasonable, because again, this is giving people who are on a budget a chance to lock in. Because that's the biggest complaint I've gotten is a lot of people are like, I would love your coaching. It's just a little out of my price point. It's a little out of my price point. That's one of the number one complaints I've gotten. So again, when I put the poll up so far, it's something like 12 or 14 people have already voted and said, yeah, I mean, I would definitely consider it. So all the people who saw that poll voted that way. Here is your chance. I put up the post on it. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to do three slots at that price. And once they're full, guys. If they fill up, that's the end of it. And I might consider something at New Year also, depending upon what I have open or not, right? Depending on what I have open. Like if I'm sitting on 25 or 30 clients, I'm not going to do the New Year sale. Just not. But if I'm only at like 20, 22 or something, yeah, I'll probably will. Right? It's just going to depend on how many people I have. So again, that's the other thing with coaching. It's just been the way this economy goes. And that's what I'm trying to be understanding of with a lot of people. A lot of people's budgets are tighter until the economy turns around. It's about to turn around, though, next year. We've had all these political changes. That's absolutely going to change the economic landscape. I think we're going to have a big boom again, right? Because I had a time where my coaching business was clearing like 8 to 10,000 every month, but the economy was a lot stronger then. Also, I'm going to link the Facebook fan page. Right there we go. For anybody who guys follow me there, please give me a follow. All right, what else we have going on? Since no one has commented or chimed in at all yet, it's been completely silent. It's been completely silent. People are watching, but they're not jumping in. So let's get over and talk about the training and stuff this morning. You guys saw the vlog. The training volumes are going up. Training volumes are going up. We're just going to go full bodybuilder other than the powerlifting stuff. So for those curious, kind of what I've been doing with the training, I'm shifting my days for the body part split up to a little bit different days. I feel like it'll structure a little better. And what we are then doing is I'm going to go ahead and keep doing the heavy squat, bench, and deadlift. And then 95 to 99% of my training is going to be just straight bodybuilding. So when I'm messing with some of the powerlifting, it's still going to be power building because I'm not going to train weak points on it, right? Dean, yes, I'm trying to squeeze out that last 5%. right? Trying to squeeze out that last 5%. But I'm at that point in the game where I need to squeeze every drop that I can. Again, run a coaching business, I run an online business, run social media fitness. So I need to be at 100%, right? And we're seeing it already with some of the veins. We're seeing the leanness. But again, I'm in a competitive market, guys. I'm competing now for viewership as a fitness influencer, and I'm doing it as an older guy. We can't just be strong. Can't just be strong. I need to be lean. I need to be as jacked as possible. So yeah, in my case, I'm optimizing the training. So it's going to be a lot of 2-hour workouts. Like I am training as if at this point, as if I were getting ready for a pro bodybuilding show. But again, we're going to keep the heavy squat, bench, and deadlift in. But everything else, I mean, other than some of the rep work, 6 to 10 and stuff on the incline. But I got 10 on the incline, didn't I? My goal, I've been wanting to get to 10 reps with that weight. So I did 6, 6, and 10. Like I really want to get to where I do 225 for 3 sets of 10 paused on that incline. All right, that's kind of something I want to get. But I hit it for 1 set of 10 today. Most people would still be better off. Dean, no. What do you mean better off? Meaning, will it be efficient use of their time, or will they not gain that last 1% of muscle? So it has to do with, you could look at it from a job perspective and say, if you got paid, I don't know, $50 an hour for your first 20 hours a week, and then for if the next 10 hours you only made $20, and then the next 10 hours you only get $1 each, would a person make more money if they worked 40 hours a week? So wouldn't that be better? Joint recovery it's not even a factor. So in my experience, doing 30 sets of isolation work for a muscle has zero impact on joints as long as it's an exercise that doesn't beat the joints up. It has no impact at all. That frequency and too much volume on heavy lifts. So like, let's say you're doing 1 to 5 reps on the bench press or the deadlift. Those sets are what beat the joints up, right? So you need to limit the volume of those. But I mean, realistically speaking, do you really think if you did 57 sets of side laterals that it would cause joint problems with 12 plus reps? No, not at all. So you're looking at heavy loads, and then we're looking at systemic fatigue. So, but we also come down to rapidly diminished returns. Okay. And I have a lot of clients who just don't have a lot of time. So for example, I have plenty of clients who have less than an hour, 3 days a week to really get their lifting done. They have limited recovery. So yeah, we do 3 days a week, and I do them on things like push-pull legs, and they, only do 6 to 10 sets, like we said. But again, it's very context specific. But would they gain more muscle if they did 15 to 20? They probably, if they can recover from it. Okay, that's the caveat. If they had the recovery dialed in, they would gain a little more. If they're not recovering from it due to lifestyle factors, then no. Okay, does that make sense? Thoughts on rest pause sets? I think they beat you up for minimal extra gain. I think they destroy your recovery, Chester. I know from firsthand experience. Leave 1 rep in reserve or go to failure for most movements. Right, is really your sweet spot for maximizing growth. I'm not convinced that rest pause reps do anything. But well, Chester, we come back over to that point. If they don't add anything, why are you beating yourself up? It's like, well, only 2 sets. I don't know that they add anything. It's subject to debate. They might add a little bit. I mean, we could debate it. Definitely what you have to watch on it, though, is the recovery versus do they give anything. They absolutely beat up recovery. I know when I've messed with them. Like you can tell, it is totally different. Right? So I have used them on occasion here or there, but I find that anytime I start implementing them with any degree of regularity, it just beats me up. So hopefully that answered your question about my thoughts. Thank you for answering. You're most welcome. And I get it. The average person doesn't train hard enough, but that doesn't mean that we have to go crazy on this stuff. Have you heard of Doug McGuff? Nope, no idea who that is. I'm going to assume he's from Clan McDuff out of Scotland, McGuff, and his first parents probably named him Doug. Am I close? I think I'm close. Unless he turns out to not be Scottish at all, then I really missed the mark. All right. So, pray tell, is he, assume, a bodybuilder? Ezekiel, yes, I am running 3 slots. But again, per the the post that I put up, if you do not get the deposit put in before the end of the month, you won't get the slot. So if people want that, they need to jump on it fast. Like, I'm not gonna, extend it out. And people go, oh, I can't figure out how to use PayPal. Mm-mm. I don't buy that, by the way. That's a troll every time when someone says, I can't figure out how to use PayPal or Zelle. It's like, I just block at that point. I realize that's just a troll. Because a person is in 2024 doesn't already have Cash App set up. You know what I mean? Nobody does it unless they're 70 years old. But in which case they've proven they're 70, and I know they're old, and I'll be slow and careful with them. All right. Thoughts on greasing the groove? I've talked about greasing a groove a lot in the past. I don't know what any of that means, Chester. All right. Thoughts on greasing the groove. Chester, if you have questions about coaching, submit an application. It's very straightforward. I don't know that I think about greasing the groove at all. In merit, it works, and it absolutely works. I definitely think for younger guys, getting chin-ups and pull-ups up, I definitely think it does. We've seen it work. We know it works. My issue is the risk of overuse, right? I feel like overuse injuries can accumulate easily. And because I did that for a long time, I did that really high number of rep chin-ups every day, right? Did an experiment where I started doing 100 chins a day, 7 days a week, and it created all sorts of problems within a relatively short period of time. Once I got to where I was doing 100 chins a day. So therein lay the issue with stuff like greasing the groove. The potential for overuse is high. I don't think it's so high with someone who's not highly motivated. The average Joe, it's probably not so bad. When you take a competitive lifter, right, someone who's highly motivated, competitive, like me, it can become a problem really quick to do something like that. We will beat ourselves into the ground because now we don't have limits. Oh, we can do it every day. And then we start competing with ourselves. Benjamin, are back squats better primary exercise for glutes or quads versus leg? I think as a primary, yes. As a secondary, leg press is phenomenal, right? I see it as a secondary exercise to do after squatting for the most part, because, again, less axial loading. But keeping in mind, the squat is just a better overall exercise. It's going to work more stuff in your body. It's going to improve neural drive. It's going to improve intramuscular coordination. And those things do matter. Like, so when the guys want to go to all smaller movements and they think in the long run, I'm going to agree with Coach Christian Thibodeau on that, who actually says, no, in the long run, those big exercises are going to help you in the long term with your neural drive. Okay. And I'm fully aware that, like, Dr. Mike disagrees with him on that. And I understand that's a big argument, even in those sort of academic circles. I tend to fall into that camp due to my own experience over the years. We do benefit from doing some work with those big movements with heavy weights, even if they take the backseat in terms of volume, because the neural drive and the coordination that we get out of them does matter. And I do believe that over time it will still carry over to better muscle fiber recruitment and things on those less structural exercises with less stability. So I personally tend to fall into that camp, at least still these days, right? I tend to fall into that camp that says, no, the back squats are still better overall, but done as a secondary exercise, the leg press can be phenomenal. And you will be able to do more volume with it and therefore get that next tier of growth out of it. So that's the way that I would word that, right? I mean, people can agree or disagree, but that's fine. That's what I teach. That's what I do. That's how I coach. All right. Mm-hmm. Hold on. All right. That Chester guy didn't even message me. I just checked. You didn't message me about coaching. All right. Hibachi says, is using Ice Cream Fitness 2.0 option as a program to run while being coached by you? I mean, we could. Oh, I thought you said you were messaging me too. No, you don't have to right now. It's fine, dude. That's what I interpret. Keep in mind, dude, I'm just going down the road reading stuff in these streams. I'm not going to always read it correctly. So, message you TN. Oh, I thought you said RN. I said right now. I'm not even sure what TN means. Is that tonight? All right. But as far as that goes, why would you want to run the 2.0 instead of custom programming? Because that's very much a cookie cutter program just for general purposes. I could fine tune the programming and get you better results, right? Because it would be customized based upon what you're doing right now and your individual needs. And I can adjust volume and everything else, adjust weekly loads based on where you are rather than using a system to try to find it. It just works better. I mean, we can still do those exercises for the most part, but I'm going to program it. Make sense? Plus, then you get locked into the coaching. If you get locked in now, the cheaper rate, you have that. So that to consider, because you're not going to be in the office for long. All right. See if we get some other stuff going. Man, the veins are popping today, though. Of course, I did 16 sets of tricep isolation today after all that pressing. So we'll keep a little pump, maybe. That's on almost no carbs. As Cali Muscle says, carbs. Man, you guys got silent. We had all these questions and everybody just died down. They died down. But you guys got the gist of it, what's going on with the Black Friday. But unless this picks up, I may wind this down because otherwise I'm just talking to an empty screen. Why did you just shift from pounds to kilos on me in the same post, Dean? Hey, Dan, that's not a fitness related question. Oh, never mind. I just saw the other one. So, Dean, you're going to make me go from pounds to kilos back and forth in the middle of the same post. All right. The reverse hyper 500 on a deadlift. Okay. Well, I don't know. I need to see what's up with your technique and form on all of it. I mean, your deadlift's not terrible. Just it's still too expensive for me. Yeah, I mean, it's everyone's got their own budget, dude. People can afford what they can afford, right? sorry, did you notice? Yeah, there we go. I also know that you're British because you'll start throwing stone at me randomly. That's the crazy thing, having been in the UK and still having a lot of British people on like my social media, is how you guys will jump back and forth between stone and kilogram and act like this is normal. And you guys will do it when talking to Americans. Like, it's hilarious when the average American has no idea what 20 stone means to me. Oh, that bloke was 16 stone. And they're just like, is that a lot? It's like, that doesn't sound like a lot. That's 16. You know, they have no clue. And then you guys will jump to kg back and forth. It's very, very confusing. Just saying. Right. Does tempo matter when lifting weights? Oh my gosh, we could argue that one for the next 20 hours and not get an answer. I think we can make a case for results being potentially compromised on either extreme. Hey Jeff, if there are the risks that serious and concern? I mean, compared to the lifestyle of the average American, already, gear is way, way less of a health risk. I mean, if you go off the data we have, but doesn't it depend on the gear? I mean, you just gave me an entire category. Well, Coach Kella, because people didn't follow through. I said if people would send me some current events, I'd do them. And guess how many I've gotten? So, Coach Kella, I think you can conclude that since I've done 0 of them, that I've gotten 0 of them from my audience. All these people who say, oh, we want you to do current events, not one of those people submitted anything to me. So I guess there's nothing anyone really cares about. The only one anyone has sent me anything about has been the Jeff Nippard with the bike situation in the gym. That's it. No one has sent me anything else. So clearly people are not interested, because I made the offer, told my audience, if you guys see stuff you want me to cover, topics you want me to cover, send them to me, right? And I've gotten literally 0. The only things people have cared about was the Jeff Nippard thing and the boxing match with Mike Tyson. That's it. So obviously people don't care. I talk about tennis current events. Well, I don't know anything about tennis. Your current event on Big Boy. Alan, could you link me what you want me to, right? Yeah, link me something. Guys, I told you, send me something on social media, because I don't have any clue. Like, I need material. You can't just ask me that and be like, oh, really? Because someone asked me about Wes Watson and I had to go check his stuff. I'd never heard of him before. Right? So keep that in mind. Like, you guys can send them to me on Facebook Messenger or Instagram private messages, either one. Right? All my social media is linked under all my videos. So if you have something you want me to cover, link me the video and say, hey, this is what's up. This is why I'd like you to cover it. And I'll be happy to do them. I've said this numerous times. Okay, he's huge if you follow YouTube, I suppose. Right? Okay, so a bunch of stuff going on with Big Boy. I might look into it. Big Boy's a pretty tough dude, though. I don't know that some people really want to get into it with Big Boy. I don't know what the situation is, but you know what I mean? Yeah, I've not seen any of it, Jeff, anywhere in the news. I've not seen any of it in any social media feed, nothing. Not a peep. So the first time I heard of Wes Watson was when someone asked me about it, and I covered it. Right, I covered that one. Just did a brief thing. I didn't really have an issue with the guy personally. Dude, it's more politics than anything. I mean, I see some fitness stuff, but it's never drama related stuff. It's never about people. Everything I see in social media feed that's about fitness is usually about some studies or some news, like something happened like the CrossFitter passing, in that drowning situation and so on. It's stuff like that. Luke, using too many pronouns in there. Who's he? His homie. You talking about Wes Watson? Or are you talking about Big Boy? See what I mean? Our pyramid sets are from lighter to heavier, better than straight sets. No, not necessarily. I don't think so. You should expose Big Boy for what? Yeah, I don't want to start beefs with people. I have no interest in getting in a beef with Big Boy. Okay, sorry. They homie passed away. Who's they, Luke? Literally, I just see it on coach friends and researchers who are friends of mine. They literally post them on their social media. I'm friends with a lot of researchers. I'm friends with a lot of coaches. I follow tons of them. So, I mean, I see stuff and then I go look into the studies and things. It's pretty straightforward. I have access to this thing called Google. No, why would I? I would have no desire to resolve any differences with Cali Muscle. He is self-admittedly a terrible human being. He brags about being a bad person, so I don't have any desire to resolve any differences. Like I don't want any association with him, right? Plus, he's not going to be around much longer, anyways. He's not taking good care of himself. Well, Alan, look at it a little bit differently. Not that even Big Boy is necessarily tough. It's look at what all he's affiliated with and associated with. Right? And that's what I mean. Like you have people who are involved in organized crime, and well, of course he's not. But why? What benefit would there be for me to basically start fights with gang members who have gang affiliations, all sorts of stuff? What benefit is there to me other than just putting myself at risk for no benefit? Like why do that? That's silly. Right? There's just some people you're just better off not starting beefs with. All right. Yeah, I'm just not interested in getting in those sort of fights. Again, no benefit to me. That's only risk with no reward. And over what? Yeah. Dean says, why some exercises that work the same muscle cause big DOMs? I have an intermediate back squat and first time doing split squats. It's your nervous system. All right. Yeah, but see, you're talking about him ripping him to pieces, and I don't know why he's being ripped to pieces. So it's like, let me put it this way: people are wanting me to start a beef with a gang member, and no one's told me why. When I basically just told you, what benefit is there to this? Like, how do I stand to benefit by picking a beef with a gang member? No, Callie's not a real gang member. So, and all you're telling me, well, Johnny Bravo's ripping into pieces over what? Like you guys don't even have any reason expose Big Boy for what? What specifically is he doing to where I need to pick a fight with a gang member to expose him? What am I exposing him over? This guy's involved with some bad people. Well, okay. Is that what are we exposing? See what I mean? You guys are not exactly giving me information here. Expose what he did to Rich. Again, could you be specific? I'm assuming Rich, but you guys throw first names out way too much. I get that all the time. You guys will mention Alan. I'm like, I know about 6 Allens on YouTube Fitness. But Rich Piana was a terrible person too. I mean, objectively. I'm trying not to talk about the dead. So why am I concerned with what a gang member did to another bad person who was also involved in organized crime and abusing people? This is my business. Why? These are all just bad people doing bad stuff to each other. Like, this is not something I particularly care about. Leave them to their wicked ways. Would be my my answer, right? And just stay out of it. Keep in mind, Rich Piana was an abusive, violent, abusing person who abused other people physically, multiple people who all talked about it. So right now, Cameron, there are a couple hours at the moment, like as of today. I mean, everybody know. Okay, everyone knows this, right? This is 2024. This isn't a big secret. It was a big secret back in the day that all of us knew, but all of you guys didn't apparently know. Like, you guys are aware that Rich Piana was one of the biggest steroid dealers in the U.S., right? For a while. Like, he was the big dealer in the scene. And everybody, we all knew this. 10 years ago, 9 years ago, we all knew that. So what exactly did it happen? So Rich Piana was involved in organized crime, was violent, right? I know some people personally who used his product and said it was legit. I never used it, but I know people who gave firsthand testimonials in person. So, like some NPC guys and stuff too. So apparently it was. I mean, he was distributing. He didn't make it. His chemist was Red. Right? You guys don't know all this. How can you not know all this stuff? I hope everybody knows this. You can't tell me you know who Rich Piana was without knowing that he was a major gear distributor. His chemist Red. He went out of business when Red died because that's who did all the brewing for him. Well, I'm not saying it makes him particularly bad, but it does mean he was involved in large scale organized crime. He had his own drug addiction problems separate from that, and he was a violent abuser of people. Okay, so I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I mean, Rich Piana wasn't exactly a hero. Just saying. So Big Boy had some conflict with him, is what you guys are telling me. and I need to call Big Boy out on it, and then have problems with his crew because he had bad dealings with a bad person who hurt other people. You kind of see what I mean, guys? You see how I look at this and go, what exactly, where do I benefit from this? Besides just pissing off Big Boy's crew, and then having a whole other set of drama I just really don't need in my life. Yeah, I'm good. Well, I figured we could talk about some actual, I don't know, bad training advice or people pulling something. I don't know. Stuff I used to cover. But I don't need to get involved in people's fights for distribution of illicit substances and gang members. And you know what I mean, guys? I just don't need it, man. I have enough problems already in my life from having been a YouTuber. I just don't need to get in a fight with the strength cartel. What's the training special bill? Yep. Well, for the Black Friday, it'll last up to the end of the month. But yeah, the first 3. But you have to put in the application fee before the end of the month. Is it likely you'll see veins in your lower abdomen at 18%? No, dude. You're not going to have veins in your lower abs at 18%. You're not even going to see probably your abs at 18%. You're not going to have a full 6-pack, that's for sure. Hey, Bill, just follow the instructions at the sticky at the top of the page, right? Or in the thing, right? You can go there. It tells you exactly what I'm asking for. You simply have to answer the questions that are asked in the how to apply thing, which is also on the community tab. And then we take it from there. Stuff like your height, your weight, what you lift, a little bit about your training history, why you think I'd be a good coach for you. Most people can write that in less than 5 minutes. I've seen some highly detailed applications that were 2 pages long and extremely detailed, but those are not the norm. I've accepted applications that are, about half a screen. And then we go from there. Pretty simple, dude. Pretty straightforward. I just need the basics to get a file started and see if you're potential good fit. I have a bunch of loose skin from losing over 80 pounds. Is it possible to gain enough muscle to naturally fill it out? No, because the loose skin is going to be around your waistline. You're not going to build a 46-inch muscular abdominal wall. Just checked it out. Yeah, there is the whole top of the page. There's several stickies. There's also, because the current one isn't, but there's 4 up there of the 4 stickies that explain it. And you can go to the community tab. It is all explained there too. But yeah, if you go look, there's 5 stuck posts at the top of the page. 4 of them are full instructions. And if you can't figure that out, I don't know how to help you from there. It's pretty straightforward. Do you get the same number of reps in each set? For me, I lose like 3 reps after the 4th or 5th set on an exercise. Yeah, I get pretty close too. Depends on rest times. We start getting into 5th though. Yeah, it gets hard. There's a lot of discussion about Nick Walker. Cool. So Coach Calla, could you link me what the discussion is? And pretty simple. So it's what I said. If you guys want current events, I'll be happy to do them. But I need a little bit of information, guys. If you have something you want me to cover, I'll do it. All right. Where are we? For 40 minutes. Yeah. Might wind this down in a few minutes. I don't think we're going to get, unless we get some interesting questions. Oh, it's been a long day. I did a lot of training in my cardio. I still got a little more work to do. What would 15% look like? Dan, you can go pull up charts. There's pictures online because you're asking me to describe in words to you stuff that there's lots of visual pictures up for. And I'm at a live stream, It's kind of hard for me to link pictures. I mean, I could go to my phone. I can try. Okay, hold on. I got you, dude. Let's see what we can do. 10% versus 15%. That. I got you, bro. I got you covered like a Jimmy hat dog. Okay. There we go. All right. So, all right, man. I got you, dude. Okay, see? So, there you go. There's the answer to your question. See, I can do pictures in this stream, so I just realized I totally can. All right. Can you do a screen share? That's outside of my skill set, Luke. Coach Bumstead competed in open bodybuilding and placed second, even though you're not a fan of his physique. I think bodybuilding would better off if they adopted. I agree 100%. If he was the open and then they made the more classic guys a little more classic, I'd be supportive of that. Luis Jimenez, coach. In fact, see, that's a current event. Why didn't people tell me that? Okay, there would be a current event. Hey, Jason, Chris Bumstead just competed in an open bodybuilding show. See what I mean? That's my first time hearing that. I could cover that as a current event. Right? There we go. I was completely unaware. Coach, I'm trying not to drink, but this week for Thanksgiving, my family's thinking of bringing tons of alcohol. Okay, then don't drink or decline. Like if you're trying to not drink and your family can't respect that fact, then there are times when things like your sobriety have to take precedent over that, until you are in a better place with that. Because I can be around it. I mean, I go to plenty of events where my friends and stuff, my close friends drink, but they don't offer it to me because they also know I'm gonna be real uncool with that. But again, people usually respect that. But if your family is going to be toxic like that and they can't respect that fact that you're trying not to drink and support you on it, right? That's a problem. Well, Dean, if he has an alcohol problem, he's going to really struggle to decline if his family are offering, if they're pressuring him, especially when it's family. So that's a problem. Now, if his family really are supportive, there's going to be people and his family who be like, here's what I would say. Why don't you talk to some of your family members and tell them that this is something you're really working on? It's important to you. You're wanting to stay sober, and ask them to please have your back on it as your family. And also then have those family members who support you cut in. If another family member or someone tries to offer it to you or pressure you, see if they'll come up to the bat for you. Because if they're really family and they really love you, there will be some people in your family who will have your back like that. Okay? If they're really true family, right? Good adventure would be your thoughts on Alan Thrall's most recent video on goals. Okay. Alan says, is it acceptable for a friend to drink in front of a friend if they know they have a drinking problem? Alan, that is really going to be a case-by-case situation. And that's really going to come down to the nature of your friendship and the nature of their problem. I don't think that that is a yes or no. There's a lot of nuance to that question. What I would say though is if you're in that situation though and you are going to drink, right? Right? Then you also have an obligation to not only not offer it to them, but to even intervene. Like if you're, okay, you said friends. Are they your friend? Or are they just an acquaintance? If they're your friend and you know that they're struggling with that, you're not only going to not offer it to them, when they're there, even if they try to say, hey, I think I'd like a drink, why you as a friend have an obligation to say, hey man, I know you're trying to quit drinking. I want you to please not have this drink. And if you are a friend, that is what you will do. Okay. But that's the difference between a real friend and someone who's just an acquaintance. Right. Louis, I can't do that for you. I'm sorry. Yeah, I can't just take someone I don't know and talk to their family on their behalf. And that's not even going to go over well. No, you're going to have to do that on your own. But you can do that on your own. You can do it. But you're going to have to find the members of your family who will support you on it. Right? Now, we come back to the other, if you were a client, you said you're a fitness coach. If you were a client and that's what I had to do for your goals, it would be different. Alice says, not only offering them, it just means it okay. Alan, that's very much a case by case situation, isn't it? How bad is their problem? Right? How bad is their problem? So again, that's what if you're a real friend, you're going to know how bad is their problem and is it okay for you to do it or not. So again, I don't think it's a straightforward, and I'm being objective there. So here's what I'm going to say, Lusa. I'm going to agree with him. If you are having that much of a panic attack about it, I'm going to advise you to sit this one out. And I think that would be in your best interest. If you're struggling that much with the drinking and you know it's going to be a problem there and you're having that much anxiety, I think Dean is right. That is probably the correct answer. Then, like when you're writing, I agree. Can I go to this family? Yeah. I mean, and it's unfortunate and it sucks and I feel bad for you, but it is the best move in that case. Yeah, everyone else is chiming in. They're all agreeing. You're getting some sound advice in here. And as much as that sucks, if you're struggling with it that hard to the point where you wrote the anxiety, having a panic attack, that speaks volumes. Yeah, sit this one out. You're going to be better for it. Get yourself in a stronger place, right? You got to build yourself up. It's like Austin down here said, yeah, you got to take care of yourself. I agree with that. That's some wise advice. Right? Hey, Austin, I appreciate you stepping in and giving that advice too. Same to you, Dean. You guys are seen, you're appreciated. You're appreciated for giving that sort of advice. And I thank you guys for that. And it's okay to be sad. Right? It's okay to be sad. But sometimes you got to do what you know is right. Yeah. And you got some good advice. Like other people are all telling you the same thing. You're going to be better for it. There we go, Omar. I wish it was like that and we didn't deal with all the nonsense in here and we could just be, hey man, just the bros in here helping the bros out. Because that's, when I talk about healthy masculinity, isn't that part of healthy masculinity? Is the bros stepping in and helping other people? Don't even have to be other guys. It could be help women too. But isn't that what healthy masculinity is? Is for men, even in groups, to say, hey, to be supportive, right? To give wise counsel, to have people's back, right? We need a whole lot more of that in this world. The world would be a lot better place. You know? Laura, it wasn't a crippling case. I wouldn't describe it as crippling. It was problematic, but definitely not crippling. I would also say in this case, if it's truly crippling, I would recommend Alcoholics Anonymous. That would be my advice. You need to get into a program. Okay? I know a lot of people who've had a lot of success with AA. So that's also an option for you. Why don't you do that, Louisa? Maybe go to an AA meeting, right? Here we go. Okay, Thursday, right? Thursday. You know how many people are going to be at that AA meeting for the exact same reason? Literally, you go to one of those meetings on a holiday like that, you're going to show up in that room. It's going to be full of people who are all there because they can't go to their family Thanksgiving because of the drinking. There are going to be other people there for the same reason you are, to give you some support. So I think that's what you should do. Tony says, Jason, do you still feel like soy can be an okay protein source of health for each high protein goes? Yeah, I think it can. Right? Absolutely. As far as plant proteins go, it's on the higher end. Omar says, serious question. Do your friends helping you through a problem in a group count as healthy masculinity? Yes. Yes, I agree. I think it does count. That's part of it. Okay. Louisa, I hope that it did, man. You came in here, you got some good advice from people. Multiple people gave you good counsel, Hey, and God bless you too. Hey, Laura, I want to say something before I ban you. We're sitting here literally trying to help someone deal with an alcohol problem who's having a real problem here on a Thursday. And you have the audacity to make a fake new account to come in here and troll people. Okay? I want you to think about what sort of human being that makes you. I'm in here trying to help another person, literally trying to help them, and you go make a new one of your little troll accounts to come and create conflict. Okay? So, Laura Frazier, I want you to really step back and ask yourself, because you probably hate me, you're one of these trolls, you think I'm a bad person. You need to take a look in the mirror. You need to take a really serious look in the mirror at this moment. Over here trying to save another person's life, potentially from possibly a severe alcohol problem. And you want to do stuff like this because you think I'm the bad person. Look to thy own ass first. Hey, Jason, have you coached anyone through any major plateaus on the bench press? What tweaks do you make in clients' volume or touch and go work? I don't take them to touch and go with a plateau. We tweak the volume as needed. Usually, if they're seeing a major plateau, they're either not gaining muscle, which they need more time, we need more hypertrophy work, or we're overextending their benching. They're benching with too much and they're not recovering. Right. This can be the last question I take, and I'm going to shut it down. Wee says, I overbulked like 30 pounds in a few months. That's way too fast. 5'10", going from 180 to 185. Should I cut it? I'd go ahead and cut, and then do this one cut and don't overbulk again, then recomp from there. Okay. Cut down a little bit, get to healthy body fat, then recomp. All right. That's what I would recommend. All right. Yeah, Louisa got other multiple people coming in, giving some sound wisdom. I hope that you take that to heart. I hope that you go to an AA meeting instead of going to the family Thanksgiving. And so I'm going to roll out of here. So God bless you. And thank you to everyone who gave them sound advice. It is appreciated, and you are seen. All right. I'm going to go ahead and end this. And I'm out.